I stepped into the hotel lobby and gazed down the central corridor that stretched to the rooms at the far end. A man caught my attention. Feeling uneasy, I retreated to the front desk. Eventually, a man emerged from outside and walked behind the counter. His expression seemed devoid of life as he asked for my name, handed me a key card, and walked away. Examining the card, I spotted the room number scribbled in the corner. The low number indicated it was on the first floor. Navigating to the hallway, I checked the room directions, and a twinge of discomfort struck me as I realized the room was down the corridor where I had seen the man earlier. Even worse, our excavator was located right at the end of the hallway, close to where the man had stood. I couldn't ascertain if he had been standing outside my specific room due to the distance, but the situation remained eerie. While I hadn't stayed at many hotels before, I recalled the annoyance of thin walls that allowed noises from neighboring rooms to penetrate. What unsettled me as I walked down the hallway was the complete absence of any sound, no televisions, no voices, no movement. It sent shivers down my spine. Upon reaching my room, I swiped the keycard and entered. Surprisingly, given the circumstances, the room was in decent shape. It was compact and visibly aged, aligning with my expectations for a budget room. After placing my suitcase on the floor and confirming the bathroom's condition, I locked the door and settled onto the couch. As anticipated, the TV was non-functional, leaving me with only my phone for company. As an hour elapsed, a sudden knock echoed from the door. The solitary thud caught me off guard, resembling more of a forceful hit. With no peephole to observe, I cautiously latched the safety mechanism before cracking the door open. To my surprise, the same man from earlier stood mere feet from the door. Our eyes met through the narrow gap. He greeted me, but upon my expectant pause, he seemed to await my response. Annoyance crept into my tone as I inquired about his purpose. He explained he had been the previous occupant of my room and had inadvertently left something important in one of the drawers. I consented and promised to retrieve the item promptly. As I began to close the door and turn away, the man forcefully shoved the door back, causing it to slam against the safety latch. My heart raced, sensing a growing unease. The man's insistence fueled my apprehension. He stated that the item was in the top drawer of the dresser. As I opened the drawer, I discovered a small, taped-shut box resting on the surface. It felt oddly light, nearly empty. Holding it in my hand, I returned to the door and opened it slightly to pass the box through. However, the box's dimensions barely exceeded the crack's width. I attempted various angles, my efforts bordering on comical as I struggled to fit the box through the gap. The man's impatience was evident, and despite my reservations about the situation, I decided a momentary opening of the door to hand him the box should be safe. I slid the safety latch and cautiously cracked the door wider. In an instant, the man forcefully thrust himself against the door, causing me to stumble backward. A gun materialized in his hand, his voice commanding me to retreat into the living area and press against the wall. The sheer volume of his shouts stunned me. I half expected the entire building to be alerted. Holding the gun steady, he rifled through my suitcase, his gaze remaining fixated on me. Just as he was about to depart, he approached, aiming the pistol mere inches from my face. Our eyes locked, and fear coursed through me as I stared into his eyes, brimming with fury. After a tense few seconds, he withdrew, backing away before fleeing with my belongings. I remained rooted in place, staring at the floor, shaken to the core by the encounter. The silence enveloped me, and a whirlwind of emotions churned within me. Thank you for joining us for this journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Goodbye.